This is Mrs. Woods, and I am demonstrating for you the flower dissection that we are doing in class. So you start off with Alstroemeria, the Peruvian lily, and if you take a look at it, you're supposed to take a picture of the side view and then draw what you see for the head-on view. And as you look at it, you can see very clearly right now the pistil. Earlier this week, that was not the case. You could not see it. It was not developed. The anthers are yellow here, and they're starting to actually turn yellow and have pollen on them, whereas before they did not. They still had a cap on them as the pollen was still developing. You'll notice that at the top of the flower, because the flower would be angled this way, these two petals both have different colored flecking in them, as well as coloration within the flower that seems to be guiding something into the center of the flower. The bottom leaves, or the bottom petals, or the other petals, are really just a light pink, and they gradually fade to white. There's no more coloration as you go down there. If we go down the side, you can see that as you come to the base of the petals, there's this hard structure that has many different sections within it. This is the ovary, and within it are the ovules. So we're going to be taking those out during the dissection. So we're going to take it apart, and I didn't mean to break it, but we were going to break the stem off at some point anyway. So one of the things we want to take a look at is the inside of the stem, and the instructions were to use the dissecting scissors, and they have a pointy end on them, which we're going to put inside of the stem. You can also, since it's so small, cut it right like this, so that we can split it in half and be able to look at the inside of the stem. You're supposed to make a description of what you experience there. So it's a little bit difficult to see with this camera, but it is lighter color on the inside. It's a little bit more light, almost a light green and kind of white in some spots. And then it's very wet. There's long strings that are going straight through it. And in class, someone said it looked like celery. It reminded them of celery, and that is a very accurate description. So, I don't know if this helps at all, but there's a little view of that. So there are thin strips that go up and down, and they bring water up to the leaf and the flower so that they can make sugar. So the instructions in the lab were to first find the sepals, and we know that the sepals are the outer first covering, and they become the first leaves of the flower. So if I imagine that this is closed back up, you can see that there is something on the outside. But unlike what you may have experienced in some of the diagrams we've seen, these are not separate structures. They are attached to the back of the petal. So the instructions were to take one of these off and look up to it, hold it up to the light. And then you're supposed to be able to see the veins that are running through it. And there are veins running through both the white part and the green part. My hands are not very steady here. So we can see a nice thick green line through the center of that. And that is that original vein that is transporting water from up the stem. So the next set of instructions were to count how many sepals you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There happen to be 6 sepals. And lo and behold, there also happen to be 6 petals. As you may notice, these 2 petals here are very, very colored. Not sure if I already said that. They're there as a way to guide a pollinator towards the center down to where the nectar is. And as a byproduct of that process, they've been tricked into collecting pollen to then be brought over to a different flower in order to cross-pollinate. Earlier this week, when we did the dissection in other classes, the center part, the stigma, was really, really low down. It had not developed, whereas the anthers were really, really high above it, enabling these flowers to send their pollen or get their pollen to a different flower to pollinate it. And now the stigma, or the pistil, has grown larger and the stigma is at the same height. And you can see that it has 3 little hooks on it. And the pollen will land on top of that. We saw in class that the pollen tube forms inside of the pistil and goes all the way down to the base of the flower and down to the ovary. So the lab asks you to take off the petals. You're supposed to also look at the veins of the petal. It then asks you to let's start taking a look at the reproductive structures. So I'm carefully pulling these off. And now I have how many stamen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 stamens. So I had 6 sepals, 6 petals, and 6 stamen. And if you look at the stamen, at the base of it, it's white. And it slowly turns a light pink, and it gets a darker pink towards the top, just like on the petals. And then it has its pollen up here, found inside of the anther. The anther has a pocket that protects it, or a cap that protects it until the pollen has been fully developed. So if I take a toothpick and I rub it on the pollen, or on the anther, I'm attempting to get some pollen, and I'm not quite sure if I did. It's a little difficult to see, but I'll show you some pictures of what the pollen looks like. So then it asks me to remove the stamen from the base carefully. So I'm going to remove carefully all of the all of the stamen, including the anthers, and I will have left only the pistil. And we know through our studies that the pistil is made up of the stigma, the style, and the ovary. And you can see that even at the base, you can see where it actually starts to connect together. This top part right here is where the pollen would get collected from some sort of pollinator like a bee or another insect, and then that would get received, create the pollen tube, which goes down here to the ovary. So we're going to open up the ovary. I'm going to open it up lengthwise, just like we did with the stem. And as I open it up, you can see half of it. And it's not terribly clear because this is not a microscope. But there are probably 20, 30 little ovules within here, the little white things. And what will the ovules turn into? Once they've been pollinated, they will, fertilized by the pollen. Here we go. Once they've been fertilized by the pollen, that's when they turn into a seed. And the remainder of the flower breaks off dries up, flakes off, and the seeds become scattered in some way, shape, or form. And that is the flower dissection.